Alright, in this video what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to go ahead and make a calendar in Google Docs. Basically this is the calendar, something similar to what I want you guys to do. We're going to be using table tools and some other things. Here are the requirements for the calendar project. One, you need to use table tools to create the calendar. So I do not want you to use any templates. Number two, I want you to identify 5 holidays for the month that you're doing and place pictures of those days in the boxes. You also need to identify your birthday because you're going to be doing your birthday month and then insert a picture for that. You must center the days of the week using the alignment tools. I don't want you to use the space bar to center things. We're going to use the alignment tools, which are these buttons right here, and I'll show you how to use those. You must use different fonts other than Arial. When you first open up a Google Docs, it will generally be the font will be Arial, which is this right here. I want you to use something different other than Arial, so you're going to have to change the fonts. Some of the boxes must be different colors. Boxes that are not a part of your month should be shaded. So for instance, if this was the month I was doing these boxes down here, I would want them to be shaded a different color. And it's pretty simple to do something like that, like so. And I will go through all this and do this with you. You must place a picture at the top of the calendar that represents your month. So just like on this one, I have this pictures for flowers for the month of May, because it kind of represents, you know, May flowers, right? And then the 8th thing here, you must insert lettering other than the a general text box for the name of your month. You can use word art or a picture that you find on the internet, and I will show you how to do that as well. So you can see that I used May up here. It's not just a plain text box. It was done actually in drawing, and I will show you how to go ahead and insert something like that as well. Okay, to start with, what you're going to need to do is you're going to basically go to, when you go to a new tab, you have these 3 little waffles, or this waffle right here, and this will give you all your different apps. We're going to go down here to Google Docs and go ahead and click on Google Docs. And then we'll click on a blank document. Alright, so now the first step that I will have you do, instead of it being 100%, I'm going to zoom in a little bit so that I can see a little bit better, more of the page I should say. So I'm going to start at 50%. That shows me most of the page here, and you can see, or actually the whole page. So then when I go to insert my table, I can kind of see where it's going to be. Now my table needs to be obviously you have 7 days in a week, so 7 across, and we're going to start with 6 down. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click that, and we'll insert this table like so. Now a couple things I want to do first as I'm doing this. I want to click someplace on the page, not in the cell, somewhere off the page, like underneath or so. And then I can adjust the margin here. I'm going to stretch this margin out this way to be well, about right there. So it doesn't matter exactly where it's at. Just give yourself a little bit more space on the edges. Same thing on the left. We want to make that a little bit smaller there too. That gives me a little bit more space to work with. Then I'm going to go down to this bottom row right here. I'm going to click that, drag it down to about the halfway point. It does not have to be exact, but about the halfway point. Then I'm going to click in the box right below this, the first cell, and I'm going to left click on that and drag down to this bottom cell right there. So I have all those selected other than that top row. I don't want the top row selected. Because then I'm going to right click on it, and I'm going to say distribute rows, and then now what I need to do is I actually want to make sure that all of my cells are columns are the same. So I'm going to select the whole thing. I'm going to right click and then go distribute columns. just to make sure that everything is the same. Alright, so now what I need to do is I need to bring this calendar, or the cells, down to the bottom. And to do that, I'm just going to go ahead and hit enter a few times to move it down towards the bottom. Now, if I go too far, it's going to go down to the next page, and I don't want that. So I'm going to back it up a little bit, and then I can also stretch the margin down over here on the left-hand side. You can see over on the very left, I have the two arrows there. I'm going to stretch that down a little bit, and I can do the same thing on the top. Gives me a little bit more space. Okay, so then I'm going to go ahead and zoom in now, and we'll make it about 90%. And then in this first cell, I'm going to start typing my days of the week. We'll start with Sunday, and Monday, Tuesday, and so on. And if you make a mistake like I did right here, you right click on it and it usually will give you the spelling. And Friday looks wrong too. What the heck did I spell there? There we go. Okay, so now I have my days of the week. So the first thing I want to do is I want to center those. To center them, I'm going to go ahead and click in that Sunday box, drag it across like so. And again, I told you we're going to use these alignment tools. Now, if you don't see these alignment tools, maybe your screen is a little bit smaller than mine. Could look something like that, or it might even be smaller and you don't even see them at all. If you don't see them at all, just click these three little dots. That'll give you more tools, and then there's the alignment tools. We want the center one, so I'm going to go ahead and click on that. I'm going to stretch this back out again. Okay, so now the next step, what you need to do is we need to figure out what day your month starts on. So I'm doing the month of May. So to do that, I'm going to go down here to the bottom right hand corner. You'll see that you have the time and date. If I click on that, it should open up a calendar for you. And then from there you can go ahead and page down to the month that you need. So I need May 2020. And you can see that my month, that one that I'm doing, is going to start on a Friday. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click in that first Friday of the month and just type in the number 1. And then I'm going to continue by hitting the tab button and jumping over to the next box and typing in all of the numbers that I need. And now you'll notice that I do not have enough boxes. I actually need another row. So if you run into this problem and you need to have another row for your, to start another week, what you can do is you just go ahead and right click on that bottom row. So if I go into that row right there, and it says insert a row below, that's what I need to do. Click that and it'll add another row for me. And then I can add the 31st. Okay, so now I have my days, I have my the month numbered. The next thing I want to do is I want to put a picture on top that represents the month of May. So to do that, I'm going to come up here to insert on my one of the tabs here, and then I'm going to go insert an image from a search of the web. So I'm going to click that. Over here to the right, you'll see that it has a search for images, and I'm going to do Mayflowers. Go ahead and search that, and it comes up with all kinds of different pictures that you can choose from. And I'm going to pick I'll do that one. So I'm going to click on that, then you'll see insert, and I'm going to go ahead and click insert, and that will insert my image. Now my image ended up being below my calendar, and I actually want it up here, so I can try to drag it up there. Sometimes it's easier to drag things if you shrink it down to size so that it kind of fits in there better. And then as I drag it up here, let's see if it'll go. There it goes. And move my calendar and everything down. I didn't want that to happen either. So there's some things that you need to do to your picture in order for it to work on your calendar. First thing you want to do is you want to click this right here where it says right below your picture, it says wrap text. There's different ones. You have in line with text, wrap text, and break text. I want the one that says wrap text. Alright, so then that should bring it back up and move your calendar back to where it should go. Now the other thing you want to switch right here, as this is still selected, it says now move with text. I don't want it to move with the text. I want it to actually fix position on the page. So wherever I put it, that's where I want it to be. So I'm going to click that, and now I can move this picture pretty much anywhere, and it's not going to mess up my entire calendar. You can kind of shrink it down to size so that it fits where I want to put it. Now if I want to see more of this, again, you can shrink it, zoom in a little bit. I'm going to go back to 75%, I think. And I might move this down slightly. Have a little more space down below. You can kind of play around with that so that it fits on your page the best. Alright, so now there's a couple things you can do for your the name of your month. What you could do is the first thing I'll show you is we're going to go to Insert, and then I'm going to go to Insert a Drawing. And you'll see that it's not gray there. I can't click on it. That's because I have this picture selected. I have to click off of that picture somewhere. So it doesn't matter if it's selected, I can't do it, but when I click off of it, it's no longer selected. Now I can go back to Insert, and you'll see there's a drawing table. So now I can go to a new drawing, and I'm going to go ahead and insert or go to the actions, and I want to click on Word Art. And I'll type in the name of my month, hit enter, and then there I have my month. Now I don't like this color, so I'm going to play around with it, and I'm going to go ahead and change the color of it. Let's make it this nice pink. And then I want to move the go ahead and change the border of it. Make it a little darker, and I can also change the weight, which is the thickness of the border. Make it like 3 points. That'll make it stand out a little bit more. Now, I don't want to use Arial. Like I said, I don't want you to use Arial. I want you to choose something different. So you can go ahead and go to the fonts here and just pick something different. Let's see, which one will I use? I'll go with Cosmic Sands. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead with that one and click save and close. That should go right on my calendar. Now again, you got to play these wrap text games again. So here's, I click on my text box here, and again I want to click on wrap text. Then I'm going to go over here, choose move with text. Now I want it to be fixed position on page. So I'll click that. And then I can go ahead and click or move this up to where I want to put it. And I can stretch it out, make it a little bigger if I want, and so on. Now if I click on the picture, notice what happens. Well, I don't want that. I want this to be on top, so I have to click on that again and move it to the top, and it just pops right back up. Okay, so that's one way of putting the name of your month in. Now another way, if you want to do something different, you can go here to Insert, and then now we're going to go to Insert an Image, and I'm going to go ahead and search the web again. And then this time, instead of May flowers, I'm just going to search May. And a lot of times what will happen is you can get words here that say May. Like for instance this one. So if I wanted to use that, I can insert that, put it in there. Now you'll notice that that went in that box there. I don't want it there, I want it up here. And again, I got to wrap the text, make it fixed position on page, and then I can change the size of it. Now the only problem with this you'll notice that I have a white background. If I don't want that white background, it actually might be kind of hard to get rid of. Let me see if I can do it. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, I'm not going to, in Microsoft, or I should say, in Microsoft Word you can get rid of the background. Here though, you can't do that. So, if I don't want something with a background, I can also search something else here. So let's go ahead back to Insert an Image and search the web. And I'm going to go ahead and put May PNG. The PNG means basically that it's a picture without background. And then you can try to find one that has it there. Now, if I'm not finding anything, another option that you could do, sometimes it's easier, rather than doing it this way, to just click on a new tab and do an image search. So I'm going to go to Images. And then I'm going to go ahead and type in the word May again. And I want PNGs. So let's see what comes up. Alright, so now there's lots more choices. Okay, so if I want something, let's see. I'm going to try this one right here. Now usually it'll tell you whether it's a PNG or not. So I can go ahead and right click on this. If I try to hit Save Image, it should tell me that it's a PNG. If it doesn't, when this comes up to save, like it says JPEG here, then it's not a PNG, and it's not going to help me. I need to make sure that I find one that is a PNG. Let's try this one. So let's see what this says. Oh, see now this one, let's see if it's this. Okay, so that one is a PNG. So I should be able to just copy this image, go back to my calendar, and then hit Control V, and let's see what happens. Alright, so that's mine that I made. I'll get rid of that one. Whoops. Let's go back here again. I'm going to try copying this again. And I should be able to Control V it. There it goes. Okay, so let's see if it has a background. Again, I got to wrap the text, move it to fixed position. And then if I move that up here, as you can see, I can see through the background. It doesn't have it there. That's what that PNG allowed me to do. Alright, so the next thing that I would like you to do, and you can, a lot of these things don't have to be done in an exact order, but I'm just kind of showing you how I would go about it. I'm going to change the font to my lettering here. So I'm just going to highlight everything in the cell or in the on the calendar itself, and then up here where you have Arial, right? I do not want that to be an Arial, so I'm going to go ahead and change that to something different. And there's all kinds of different fonts you can use. You may or may not have all of these. This one's called Lobster. I don't know if you have that on yours or not, but that's the one I picked here. I can also go ahead and change the color of the lettering here. With this button right here, it says text color. I can click on that and say I want to make the lettering red or something else, maybe a nice bright blue. Okay, so then I want to highlight this top row. I'm going to make them the words a little bit bigger. so they stand out a little bit more. And I want to try to make them as big as I possibly can without actually changing the size of the boxes. If I go much bigger, you'll notice that Wednesday and Saturday kind of wrap around. We don't want that. So I'm going to just keep it there at 14. Alright, so then the other thing I want to do is I want to shade the boxes that are not part of this month. So these boxes right here are really not part of this month. They're from the previous month. So I'm going to find the paint bucket. Again, if you don't see the paint bucket, you might see those three little dots off to the right over here. Click that and then you should be able to find the paint bucket. And then I want you to shade those some different color. I'm going to kind of pick one of these pinks, I think. Go with that one. And the same thing with the ones at the end of the month that you didn't need to use. Whoops, I went too much there. Just click the undo if you make a mistake. And there we go. Alright, so now, basically the last step, you need to try to find 5 holidays and your birthday, and you have to label those different things. Now, it's up to you which ones you're going to put in there. What you could do though is there's a website that I go to. It's this one right here. It's holidayinsights.com. To get to it, what I usually do is I just type in weird holidays. And when I search weird holidays, it brings me to, alright, come on, there we go. It brings me to this one right here. It says Holiday Insights. Usually the first one listed is Holiday Insight. I usually just click on that, and then it gives you all the months of the year. I'm going to click on May. And then as I scroll down, each day has all kinds of different holidays on them. The only thing I ask is that the ones you pick are appropriate for school. Okay, so let me go ahead and pick one here. I'm going to do May the 4th, and I like to do Star Wars Day. So May the 4th be with you. Alright, so let's go back to my calendar. There's May the 4th. It's on Monday. And I'm going to go ahead and insert an image, and then I'm going to do a search of the web. And I can go over here and then type in Star Wars. And generally you can find something here, but again, if you don't find something here that you want to use, you can also just do an image search and see what that brings up. And it generally probably will bring in the same type of pictures that, oops, what happened there? Let's go back to my search. What happened to my Star Wars? Okay, so search Star Wars. A lot of times it'll bring you, give you a lot more choices to choose from. It just so happens that I kind of like this one right here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this one and insert it there on the 4th, and it should go right into that day. I'll zoom in here so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. Alright, so now, again, when I click on this image, I have to adjust it. First thing I'm going to do is click on Wrap Text. Then I'm going to change it, move with text to Fixed Position on Page. And so then I can move this where I want, and it's not going to change anything on my calendar. Okay? So that's basically what you're going to need to do. So you need to find 5 holidays for your calendar, place them on the day for that day, and then also you'll need to label your birthday. That's what you need to do. Alright, so now that your calendar is complete, the next thing that you're going to need to do is you need to share it with me, or actually turn it in through Google Classroom. I do not want you to just click share and then send it to my email. I do want you to go to Google Classroom and do it through there. So the first thing you'll do is go back to your Google Classroom. When you're in Google Classroom, if you don't see your assignment like this, it might look something like, let's see if I can get back to it. It might look something like this, and then if you open up Google Calendar assignment, just click View Assignment. And then over here you'll see where it says Your Work. Then what you need to do is you're going to add or create. So you click that. You can go ahead and go to your Google Drive. That's where it should be. And you'll see that I have my calendar right here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on my calendar, click Add, and that will upload over here. And then once it's uploaded, then you can go ahead and click Turn In. Okay, and then it'll ask you to turn it in. Second time, you sure you want to turn it in, just click Turn